Good morning, everybody. Nice for everyone to be here, and then everybody who I know is online, and those who watch it later, we appreciate you. So we're going to start this morning off with a song from the 360. It's glad to see the full 360 here in total health. Yay.
Well, some of you know, but not everybody, that 2 weeks ago, Dick was in the hospital with a stroke, which was scary, really scary. And he got real good care and real fast care. And so we are with just a few little hiccups in the wiring, so we may not be as polished as we were before the stroke, but you know, the same enthusiasm is still there.
How are you?
And I want to say thank you to all the people, the prayer team, that we were so supported by the church and friends. We felt it, it held us. Here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Oh, well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hide it under a bushel.
No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Wait another day.
No,
I'm gonna let it shine. Oh,
wait another day. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Wait another day. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Woo. Everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine.
I see the light. Those guys, they're so bright. So we're going to invite the children up, and Judy's going to play. And while we're doing that, just wave to the camera, because we have a whole community out there that we know is fully appreciating this service. So welcome again. I'm Charlie Boring, practitioner for today. And we have a very special service. We're going to be promoting our classes, and you'll see that in just a little bit. And you'll see that you got a handout when you came in as well, which has all the classes, coming up starting this week. So we're gonna have a nice presentation pretty soon about that. But I'd like to thank everybody who showed up early for service. We had a few hiccups this morning. We had an alarm go off. We had a water fountain out in the middle island when you drive in, and so we had to call. I had to call a friend to get help. So Roy and Dick came in. We had some volunteers show up, and before you know it, it was all fixed. So, but several of us got wet shoes. So if I slosh around. But, that's what part of what community is. You just step in and you do what you need to do to get things moving. And so here we are. We're in the flow of a beautiful service this morning. And so we thank Lindy on the sound booth and Rich on the board desk, the kitchen cookies. It is Friendship Sunday, so just a reminder that after service, we invite you to go back and have conversation with folks, and look for someone new and strike up a nice conversation. So we want to build our community. So if you have any hearing devices that may go off, please mute them so they don't go off during the service. And I'm going to move into a few announcements, but to start with, as advertised, I'm going to invite Mary and the teachers up to talk about their upcoming classes, and then Mary will talk about the table in the back.
Good morning. Fall, when we start classes, we kind of overload you if you look through the list, but everyone is so great. And if you see the sunflower in the back, it's kind of a funky sunflower balloon. We have all the information, sign-ups. You can look at the books, you can look at syllabus, whatever, ask questions. So please see us afterwards. I'll kick it off with foundations. If you find that this center fulfills something in your heart, you're yearning, and you're really looking at advancing that and making your life even better, that's what the foundations class is all about. It's 10 weeks, and it's like jumping into the deep end of the swimming pool, believe me. But you'll learn an amazing amount, not just about the philosophy, but about you, diving deep into you. So I'll turn it over to the others.
Shirley, you're up.
Good morning. I'm Shirley Wade, and I'm going to be doing Deepak Chopra's class called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Now, I don't know whether you know Claire Manor or not, but she is our teacher for yoga, and she learned in the East from one of his classes how to do the wonderful things she does. And she talks about that man as if he were just really something special. And I'm sure he was to have written this book. It's little, but it's just packed with good stuff. And it's called The Spiritual Laws of Success. And I want to remind you what a law is. If you follow the law, you won't miss out, and you can rely on it. These are laws that have been tried for many, 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 many years, and they have been successful. So I will welcome you if you decide to take this class. I think it would be a good decision. Thank you.
Good morning. Sorry. Okay, I'm Christy Carr, and I'm going to teach Meditation is More Than You Think. And when I first started coming here, it's a funny thing, I thought you had to sit in one position and meditate, and you couldn't move or breathe or anything. So This class will teach you that there's many ways to meditate, and I'm excited to share with you. So have a good day.
Good morning, I'm Shari. Many of you have heard about the Tao of watercolor. This last week, nearly a dozen of us celebrated 7 years here at the center of taking classes. It's been an incredible journey for all of us learning to open ourselves to the creative impulse. And we call it the Tao of watercolor because we introduce some of the basic principles of Tao, opening ourselves, letting the flow happen, moving our egos out of the way, getting rid of ideas about, oh, I don't know how to do art, because in fact, we all do. We're all creative beings. So we're going to continue with the Tao of watercolor, and classes begin September the 7th. They're offered on Monday morning and Wednesday afternoon. So you're all very welcome to come. We now have almost half of our students are coming from outside the center and finding questions about the center. What goes on here? So that really, really thrills me as an instructor. It's been a wonderful journey for me as well. So I invite all of you, if you have any questions, I'll be in the back after the service, and I'm happy to invite you to join us. Thank you.
And then there's me. Yeah. And I'm Reverend Sue, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Robin Backstrom. She's taking care of her grandchild, so she's not been able to be with us on Sundays, but she has committed her Mondays to the book study club, the book club. Many of you are participants of that, and it's been very popular. The next book series is The New Earth, Eckhart Tolle. So you can check the times on when that begins on Monday afternoons. I believe it starts at 2. And then our Reverend Kay Stewart is going to be sharing her wisdom on the Course of Miracles. This will be a year-long course. And if there's more information in the awareness newsletter. Our Miss Lori is not feeling well, so she's not in the office today. So some of the little ways she spoils us, we don't have that today. So please pick up a newsletter to find out more information about all of these classes. And I appreciate Mary setting all this up at the back table. And now I'm teaching on a Wednesday. It's a course from Greg Braden, and I'm using his book, this one, Walking Between the Worlds, The Science of Compassion. And I'm also using Richard Rohr's Silent Compassion and Joyce Roop, Prayers of Boundless Compassion. You don't need to buy these 2 little books. I'll just be pulling and copying information from these for you. But the reading assignment does come from Walking Between the Worlds and learning about a lot more about compassion than it's just something to live with, but it's something to really allow yourself to be in this world with a compassionate heart. And that will start on Wednesday, September 7th, right after yoga at 7 o'clock. So thank you.
So, you know, to do these classes takes an immense amount of preparation, and I think most of us have been working on these classes for a month and a half, and here we come, and we're ready to go. So please consider it, and check us out at the Funky Sunflower. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go that way.
I'm fine. And I'll go down the stairs, okay? Thank you.
Well, we'll just add that to our hiccups for today. Good job. Good recovery, Shirley. Well, that took care of a lot of my announcements, but I do have a few more just to cover real quickly. We moved up our landscape Save-A-Day to next Saturday. I know it's Labor Day weekend, but with all the other things going on the weekends, we needed to move it up. So if you're in town and you want to join us, we'll be here from 9 till noon on Saturday. And then, let's see, Hatha Yoga returns on Mondays and Wednesdays with Reverend Sue starting September 7th, 5:30. And Reverend Kat, do you want to speak real briefly to your class?
Sure, the workshop.
Yeah, the workshop, sorry. Yeah, just so we have everything covered that's coming up. Yeah.
This time I took my hat off. So next week I'll be speaking on how we do good work in a hard world, recognizing the challenge of bringing the principles of living a spiritually centered life into the world we actually live in our personal lives, in our community lives, in our world, and the pulls of different ways of responding to that. And it will be very resonant with your talks on compassion and that work going forward. And then I'll be leading 4 classes starting next week after service from 11:30 to 1. I think I've got that right. And we're going to look at different practices that are a part of how we can be present in the world in a way that really crosses the boundaries of fear and resistance that we have to one another, so that we can open up for deeper connection. And we'll be talking about it in terms of both the underlying beliefs that support that, but also very concrete, practical tools to bring to the dialogues that you're in, the dialogues you might begin, might have a little more courage to begin those dialogues, because really we need to develop practices that can ground us in how we want to be. So I would love to have you join us and look forward to the time. Thanks.
And so I've said this before, but you can go onto our website and you can now sign up for classes and workshops, and you can actually pay for them that way as well. So you don't have to physically come in just to get registered. So we have many opportunities, and then Sue sends out reminders in her weekly newsletter about the classes as well, so just to keep that in mind. So then we have last. So I know Mary has the caregiver support group as well, which is Thursdays, Thursday, September 8th from 10 a.m. to noon. And then we have our spiritual music jam coming back, led by Michael Harris and Steve Smith. And so we're going to begin that on Friday, September 9th, 7 to 8:30, and that'll be once a month, on a Friday night. So I'm really looking forward to that coming back. It's really fun. Our circle kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was any kind of instrument you want to bring, including your voice. Or if you just want to sit and be quiet and just take in the music, it's all really beautiful energy. So look forward to that. So we're going to have our reading now from Sally Foster, and then we're going to invite the bell 3 times, and then we're going to have our spiritual mind treatment by Christy.
Good morning. We have from Earnest Holmes the following. Incarnated within each one of us is not only a divine spark, not only an incarnation of the living spirit of the cosmos, but a unique presentation of the cosmic whole. This I saw or else some inner presence made it known to me, the universe is filled with life. The air, the sky, the sea teem with intelligence, with majesty and might. And deep within me, some subtle inner sight beholds and sees, comprehends and knows the all. It neither fears nor falters, but answers the divine call to be as one beyond the bounds of time and space, to overcome the bondage of the human race and leap with trust undaunted, free into the deeps of that infinite sea whose waters calm are ready to receive those who in simple faith believe. And from Ken Wilber, the divine self is one with the all, given in grace and sealed in glory at some point as one rests in the inward witness, feeling the atmosphere of freedom. The very sense of an inner self versus an outer self will often vanish, seen for the illusion it is, leaving only the sense of what the mystics call the one taste. At the bottom of your soul is the soul of humanity itself, a divine transcendent soul leading from bondage to liberation, from enchantment to awakening, from time to eternity, from death to immortality.
Let's take it. Excuse me. Let's take a breath in. And as we let it go, close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and join with me in knowing that there is one ultimate conscious intelligence. All that is and all that will ever exist is in one mind. It is the ultimate, miraculous, divine creator. It is love, it is peace, it is perfection, and it is harmony, the evidence of all there is. I know that I am one with this divine spirit as I embrace this energy of balance, peace, and harmony. I realize this love is the intelligence that permeates all forms and all beings, celebrating the divine in all that is. So I realize for me, as I do for you, as we listen to Reverend Sue MillerBorn today, that we take this time to recognize this divine presence within all things. That spirit is alive in each and every one of us. That this awareness sparks compassion and understanding within us at a level that inspires us to remember our own origin of divinity. That the same power which moves mountains, the same power that moves the wind, is the very same power that moves our spirit, our love, our voices. Nothing is separate from the divine. So I am so extremely grateful and give thanks for this perfect divine unfoldment, for this spiritual truth illuminating everything within us all. I release this knowing it to be done. It is done, and it is so, and so it is.
Thank you, my friend. So I'm not going to be talking about this book, but I just think it's so dang cute I had to bring it because it's my talk. I'm going kind of off script here a little bit, this message today, but the dog is your mirror, the emotional capacity of our dogs and ourselves. So it's a fun book to have and to read, and that dog's face just says it all. So if I lose you, just stare at the dog, okay? Because we're talking today about naturally divine. Our whole month, we have focused on nature on one way or another. And I appreciate the message that it leads us to, and especially when we come back to the earth, when we come back to Mother Earth, to the universe, to realize our part in all of this, that we're individualized expressions of that oneness. And Sally, you read that so beautifully. That gives us a taste. All great teachers, all philosophers and spiritual leaders have been able to tap into something that their heart feels and this knowing and translate it back to us. But it all has to come from each and every one of us, right? The words need to touch that part of us that we know that too, that we have that connection. And so living everyday wonder and looking at nature itself, I chose to speak to you today about the blessed dog. And I take this work from a book that a friend gave me, I and Dog, the Monks of New Skeet. That's another fun book to have. But before I go there, I want to share with you this quote from Earnest Holmes. God is a universal presence. Now, we say that a lot here. But I would like the words that you hear to imprint upon you, to stir you in a new way. What is that to you? What does that mean to you? He goes on to say, it's a neutral force, an impersonal observer, a divine and impartial giver, forever pouring itself upon its creation. Forever pouring itself upon creation. So all of us open to receive. And so let us bless this sanctuary today in such a way that you relax the walls of your heart, that you relax your mind, and allow the divinity that is expressed through the love of each one of the teachers that are prepared to offer you a stretching of your mind and heart, to your neighbor that sits beside you or behind you or in front of you, to our lovely musicians. We open our heart in a new way that we feel, I am one with this. Eric Butterworth from The Creative Life says there are no duplicates in the creation. Every snowflake, every blade of grass, every grain of sand, a unique design. In the same way, there has never been anyone, nor will there ever be anyone just like you. You are a unique expression of creative energy of the universe, focused eternally as you. Yes, you are the divine original, and the divine intent active as you has one desire, to express expansively and creatively its uniqueness as a perfect idea in its infinite mind. This is your spiritual destiny. We often come to a place of worship, a house of teaching, to lay down our problems and to try to find a deeper aspect of ourselves, because we keep hitting the walls of who we are, and we can't seem to break those bounds. So we're here to lean into one another and to support each other as community in that spiritual growth. So the phrase human nature that we're used to hearing refers to that fundamental disposition of each one of us, that psychological characteristic that is shared by all of humankind. That includes the different ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. And sometimes humanity has been annoying, and we recognize that. And so that's what the gift of Reverend Katz's class will be, to help us no longer wall off and feel like, I don't know what to say here, so I'm going to bolt. I'm going to run, I'm going to be silent. And then our heart closes down and our heart builds a deeper wall. So this idea, that is our human nature. But deeper than that, more than that, we have a divine nature. And I claim that for myself and for each one of you here, that that's the truth that is inherent in all of us. And Earnest Holmes says that is within every individual, in each one of us, which partakes of the nature of that universal wholeness. And insofar as it operates, it is God. We partake of the nature of the divine being, and thus are divine by nature. We are naturally divine. And so is all of nature, so is all of humanity. So, Science of Mind, life waits upon man's discovery of natural laws, his discovery of himself, and his discovery of his relationship to the great whole. That's our invitation here to each of you. Every single week we stand here. Every time we sing a song, say a prayer. We invite you to your understanding of your relationship to the wholeness. And this reflection of nature, the awe of nature, the inspiration of nature has allowed each one of us to let down our guard, to find yourself witnessing a greater relationship in nature than maybe you can even have with another being, except an animal. Now, I know those books, and also on one of my favorite things to scroll in Facebook are the animal stories, right? How the different breeds get along. I fascinate with that. I have to see the whole story, how the gorilla holds the kitten, and the elephants and the dogs and the sheep so they're all these different species, right? Finding common ground with one another, and they're bound by love, by an affection that holds them in that relationship. So we have that ability too, but we seem to operate on a more limited level. And we see the behaviors of others, and we react and withdraw. Now, if you think about an animal that you might have witnessed, you've seen them, they can sense that you're uptight, and they might not want to come to you. They might put their head down and turn the other way. Now, that's a message to you. That would be an insult. What's in my consciousness? That the dog won't even look me in the eye. It's something for you to clean up, because the dog can sense you. The cat, even though they're a little more arrogant, the same thing. So we look at these relationships, and we know that sometimes how that other person or person has expressed themselves has alienated us, and we forgot our oneness. We forgot for a moment our wholeness. Mahatma Gandhi says very clearly here, you must not lose faith in humanity. This wisdom is a powerful teaching. Let me repeat that. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean, he goes on. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the whole ocean does not become dirty, right? So we can't turn away. We can't close our heart space. We stay open, as Earnest Holmes says so fondly, open at the top. The Dalai Lama, love and compassion are necessities here, not a luxury. Without them, humanity cannot survive. This is so important. We are at the pivotal point, all of us, to be that consciousness that tips us into that place of love and brotherhood and sisterhood, in a way that we bring ourselves back into a sense of, I see you. That's why we're always so touched by some of these movies when it just boils down to a simple phrase, right? I see you. You do? You see me? Yeah, I see you. And we felt heard and we feel loved. So let's imagine today that we're on a vision quest, each one of us, that we have arrived here today to understand the deeper truth of the Golden Rule. That thread of the Golden Rule is in all faith paths. They all have a version of it. And let me remind you, it is doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so are you living with that? If you just had that one bumper sticker and you have said, this is my motto, this is my drive, this is imprinted in my heart, this is who I am today. So let's walk with each other today on a vision quest. So just relax with the words I say. If you trail off, if it gets really boring, or if you're in your own memories of your first dog, go there, okay? Just relax and see where the divine takes you as we lead ourselves hand in hand and heart to heart into some of the inspired stories of the land, of the sky, of the water, and our relationships with all nature beings. So feel that sense of, today is the day. Today is the day I choose. I choose to let go. I choose to see. I choose to open. I am willing. I'm willing to see my relationship with all beings. But I begin in nature, and I settle into a place open to the spirit medicine that is everywhere present. I awaken to the powerful lessons about living in communion with all beings. What is asked of me here? So let us take ourselves not to a place where we're uncomfortable, but to a place within our own being we know is our sanctuary for our soul, where we walk into a place on the land, near the sea, into the forest, maybe even into your own backyard, maybe onto this property here. But you begin to feel your connection. You take yourself out of anything that feels you are bound in, and you start on your path, and you tap into the colorful, visionary imagination that we are each gifted with. Maybe it comes to you in pictures, maybe feelings, maybe just a breath, maybe memories will lead you. But it's your inner vision, and the land is speaking to you wherever you have found your path. It is calling you forward, and you walk with grace. It is beckoning you. Please see me beyond preconceived ideas. See me as you've never seen me before. Listen, listen, listen more deeply. As if you were the animal in the wild, finding your way. You're brave. The trees have a voice and a calm and a guidance that call you. The trees are helping you find your way, and you lean into one along your way, and you feel held. You feel held by that tree. And if you feel alone at all, you turn and you allow that hug and that tree, that embrace, to be what you need in this moment of time. This is what the divine is showing you right now through the visionary aspect of your mind. And then you feel within you a stirring of compassion. And you imagine nearby, you look out there and you see the remains of a burned and scarred old ancient oak that had succumbed to the fires. And that compassion you feel tugging upon your heart as you imagine what life forms that tree once held. And the reverence that you feel suddenly is blossoming. You feel the sense of sincere sorrow for that loss of that tree. And you remember its life and all the seasons it's passed through, all the storms it has weathered. You see the analogy, that is you. All that you see is actually all that your life has been through as well. And you see also, though, upon the land, the acorns scattered, the gifts of the tree, those gifts that you have scattered along your path through your lifetime, all the lessons you've been through. Let it cry out to you. Let it be seen. Let these moments be remembered. And we walk on knowing that the Spirit lives in all things, the land, the sea mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, insects, plants, trees, fungi, moss, algae, rocks, crystals, microorganisms, on and on. The beautiful voices of the indigenous people call us in prayer to remind ourselves of the preciousness of these gifts upon our land. And then we're also in the spirit of the elements of the earth, the air, the wind, the fire. And we get settled into our own ecosystem and we walk. Our eyes and our hearts are wide open. It's all life, and life force cannot be separated from any of this. It's a mystery of wonder. That's your path. That's what you walk upon. This nature of beingness is beckoning you to be still, and know a greater love is embracing all. We're engaging with a deeper reality. We're beyond the mundane. We're beyond all the stories. We're beyond the news. We're beyond COVID. We're beyond monkeypox. Whatever the most recent threat is, we're beyond that. And we're on that threshold of divine grace. And the path takes us deeper. And we awaken to the creative power that is moving through all of life. We feel it pulsing in our being, and we're empowered by the inner landscape of our being. This is awakening. This is who we are. And as we slow down, we experience an inner peace that is unaffected by a vast change around us. The core of our teaching, the core of true shamanism teaches there is a deep reality to our visible, intangible world. This is something Sandra Ingerman shares in her writings, in her words. In those hidden realms are helping spirits who have deep compassion and love for us as we grow, as we evolve, as we navigate our way through life. The helping spirits might appear in the form of an animal, a plant, a tree, an insect. So we walk our vision path today. We move into a heightened state of awareness. And seemingly we communicate with life in all things. It's no longer just, whoop, there was a lizard that just crossed my path. We stop and we look at that lizard. What is your medicine for me? We look at the fly on the wall. What is your medicine for me? We open to the moment, and the stories begin. Listen what we can learn from I and dog. From the book that about the dog is your mirror, he quotes that animal consciousness and human consciousness intersect at the dog. Dogs are heart energy, the place where physical and nerve energy intersects, where brain meets body, where human connects with nature. This makes dogs humanity's emotional mirror. Dogs precisely reflect how our physical and nervous energies become our feelings. Dogs are our ultimate tool for self-evaluation. And now we listen to the monks of Skeet, as I just briefly, randomly open to a few pages and share their wisdom, their thought. So it is for many of us, the love for creation deepens in our relationships we form with our pets, particularly our dogs, by their very nature and need. Dog draws us out of ourself. Now remember your relationship with dog. They root us in nature, making us more conscious of this mystery inherent in all things. And as often, our feelings about dogs can arise from deeply embedded memories from childhood. I've heard oftentimes Charlie share this about dogs. He has a love for the dog, but there's also a hesitancy because of those little yippers that come out from nowhere and bite your ankle. And they seem to come out when you're on your bike, right? So you develop this relationship with the dog. And it sometimes comes so innocently. But he said, deep are these feelings. The dog assumes a multiplicity of roles: playmate, guardian, comic, even the feared warrior down the street. Right, Charlie? The depth of such sensibilities, both negative and positive, point to the value providing young people the safe experience with the dog at their best, with the connection that can be forged so naturally at their own pace. And now hear this. Praise then is more than a treat, more than an occasional physical pat, more than a reward for good action. Praise is an attitude and a stance. Think about that when you praise another. Dogs who live in the atmosphere of praise come to love the human voice. And don't we love the voice of those who have loved us? We find a comfort. We find ourselves held just by the voice. No gift attached, but the loving grace of that. They are more trusting and more accepting, these dogs. They are approachable by strangers, but not demanding. Dogs confident of praise from their owners do not live on the edge of an emotional abyss, always seeking attention and sulking when they don't get it. If praise is part of your attitude towards your dog, you have a rich and exciting relationship ahead. Think about that not only with your dog, but with your beloved partner, with your friends. Dogs will mirror back to ourselves in an unmistakable way that if we are open, if we foster true understanding and change. Dogs are guileless and filled with spontaneity, but unlike people, they don't deceive. When we take seriously the words they speak to us about ourselves, we stand face to face with the truth of the matter. Remember your dog. Remember what they're telling you. We must learn to reflect on these words. They are inscribed on their bodies, in their expressions, in the way they approach and interact with us. Now, we know that. We know that when we feel like we've hurt their feelings, or when the dog is shamed, right? How sad is that? Those videos that I passed by, those, who did this? And all the dogs' paws point to the other one, and the other one's got his face against the wall. They feel, and they know by your tone. But let us shame no one in humanity. Let us shame no animal. Let us just try to bridge an understanding. There are facts about dogs and opinions about them, but listen to this. The dogs have the facts, and the humans are the ones who have opinions. I'm going to skip ahead here. All good relations, those with our dogs included, make room for silence. Think about your times when it was just the animal's head. Oh, I have a totem dog here. I should have him up at my feet. But think about the times that your dog just comes and rests his sweet little, I think these are chins on dogs, but they just rest and they look at you and their eyes kind of change. Should I be cute, compassionate, serious? Where are we today, my beloved? And they join you wherever you are. They meet you heart to heart. And that silence allows us to take an account of ourselves, to change what is amiss, to renew our intention, and to treat the other with respect and affection. Dogs wander in their own universe and resist being judged according to human standards. We do justice to a relationship with the dog when we honor its life. The dog, the creature, who for all we may understand about it, is still fraught with mystery. We think they have an agenda, and we start talking to them that way. What do you think you're doing? I don't know. This looked like fun a moment ago. Now my tail is tucking deeply. You can feel how sensitive these beings are to model back to us. Is this how I want to be? Is this the mirror I want to represent back out into the world? And here's another one. Novelty isn't always desirable in relating with the dog. Dogs are sensitive to the security and comfort engendered by daily ritual, and we hardly give a second thought to their morning walk, to meal times, to play, even the quiet togetherness, even watching TV. Such familiar patterns stabilize the dog in a world it understands. They also soothe the chaos of our own lives by the peace that is their fruit. Dogs can spot phoniness a mile away. For creatures that instinctively observe and interpret the slightest movement of body and soul, praise that is pure praise that is pure show leaves even a Labrador unmoved. So if you were just pretending to like the animal, they're going to know it. They're going to know it right away. Because we are responsible for living creatures, needy and vulnerable, our dogs help ground us in reality, forcing us to appreciate the mystery of God in all its length and breadth. The dogs ground us in reality. They allow us to grow in learning and responsiveness to attentiveness and bonding, broadening those parameters of grace. The eye is the lamp of the soul in human beings, so to a certain extent can the same be said of the dog. And I will close finally with their last passage. And this is from Martin Buber. He said, if we had one power over the end of the earth, it would not give us that fulfillment of existence which a quiet, devoted relationship to nearby life can give us. Think about that. If we had the power over the ends of the earth, we would not have the fulfillment of existence which a quiet, devoted relationship to nearby life can give us. To any nearby life is longing for you to reach out and to really see it. That's the awe, the wonder, the divine, the God, the godness in all of the beautiful ways, nature, animals, plants, whatever is there speaking to us. Thomas Merton, as I close, says, Judy, if you can come up. Then it was as if I suddenly saw the secret beauty of their hearts, the depth of their hearts, where neither sin nor disease nor self-knowledge can reach the core of their reality. The person that each one is in the eyes of the divine. You see, with the eyes of the divine, if only they could all see themselves as they really are. If only we could see each other that way all the time, there'd be no more war, no more hatred, no more cruelty, no more greed. I suppose the big problem would be that we would fall down and worship one another. So as we close, feel the blessing as you come back from your personal vision quest to wherever memories of love, of tenderness, your walk with a family pet, the neighbor's dog, the neighbor's cat or horse, whatever this animal being is, has the medicine for you to wake up into your own divinity. So take that breath. As I lead this prayer from Paul's letter to the Corinthians, he writes here, think about it differently now. As we look into the pages of the Bible, love is always patient and kind. Love is never boastful or conceited. Love is never rude or selfish. It does not take offense and is not resentful. Love is always ready to excuse, ready to trust, to hope, to endure whatever comes. Perfect love casts out all fear. And as we are held in the hands and the heart of such loving ancient words, We come to our time today with hearts that are blossoming with a new understanding of the power and the courage that dwells within each one of us to be the best that we can be. Hand in hand and heart to heart, we choose now to be the ones that make a difference in the world, not in any kind of arrogant way or do it my way or out you go. No, we come into the divine and we do bow. We bow low and say, what is mine to do here? Feed me, fill me, Spirit, with the love and the grace and the truth and the way and the guidance and the courage to say yes to this life, to this idea, to this moment of transformation and transition. As humanity comes together with bonds of love, and we no longer turn away or hide our head or hold back our tongue, we speak love. And if there's no love to say, we silently, reverently bow and remember, I am one with all that is. And I give thanks for the knowing and the courage to simply be my truest self. Thank you, God, for all of us listening, for every dog in the world that feels all puffed up because he was talked about today. I give thanks because it's a wonderful, wonderful world, and we're in awe of all of it. I release this word, knowing that we are carried in truth, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no! Stop it, Dick. Make it go away. Oh, that's not what we're trying to do. Sorry.
We'll be with you in just a moment.
There we go. Almost there. Come on. Yay.
Magic finger.
It's not there yet. It's thinking. It's thinking.
So we don't have to carry around a big book of music, but...
And we don't have to memorize every single chord and word, because that's probably not too easy to do. Some people have that gift.
Okay, here we go. Oh, the stream sings it to the river sings it to the sea, and the sea sings it to the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in sail in me. Now the boat that we are sailing in was built by many hands, and the sea that we are sailing on touches every sand. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea, I sail in you, you sail in me. Oh, the voyage has been long and hard, but yet we're sailing still, with a song to help us pull together. There we go. And we surely will. Somos el barco, somos el mar, yo navego en ti, tú
sea. I sail in you. You sail in me.
So with our hopes, we raise the sails to face the winds once more. And with our hearts, we chart the waters. Never sailed before, somos el barco. Somos el mar. Yo navego en ti. Tú navegas en mí. We are the boat. We are the sea. I sail in you. You sail in me. And that's the truth.
May I have the ushers come up, please? As I prepare to give my offering today, my heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being. I am filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive. I give thanks for the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week. I know each dollar supports this spiritual family in many ways as we grow together, play together, and give thanks for all this center has been blessed with today and always, and so it is.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you, Sue. I have a lot to chew on with that. But, it is true. Somewhere in my childhood, I was chased by dogs and got bit, and then all of a sudden, even today, they know there's some deep fear in me, and they want to do that. But whenever I go to a friend's house and they have a dog and they're just like happy, I'm happy. So maybe it's time to get a dog with our 3 cats. But it made me think a lot about that. So I wanted to remind you the table on the back with the teachers. We have the social hall, and strike up a conversation with somebody. It's a way to build community. And also online, still you can sign up for classes and things. And then briefly on our selection committee, our search committee update for a new minister, there is a prayer in the back that you can pick up and join with us in consciousness for attracting the minister that wants to show up here at the right time. So we hold that in consciousness, and we appreciate your support. So we're going to have a closing song by the 360 Band, and then we'll come up and say goodbye.
I am but a small part of this great big world as it slowly goes through the heavens. I am bound to soil, rocks, air, and sea, held by so much more than mere gravity. And I hold on with hands of love. I hold on with hands of hope. I hold on to sunshine bright, to birds in flight, to laughter's sound. Yes, I hold on to God's good ground. Each of us must take our own path, choose our different ways. Yet we travel the same direction. Double helix strands of protein we unwind to find that everything pivots on a miracle. And we hold on with hands of love. Yes, we hold on with hands of hope. We hold on to sunshine bright, to birds in flight, to laughter's sound. Yes, we hold on to God's good ground. I will play my small part on this great big world as we go spinning through the heavens. I am bound to soil, rocks, air, and sea. Still I'm held by much more than mere gravity. I hold on with hands of love. I hold on with hands of hope. I hold on to sunshine bright, to birds in flight, to laughter's sound. Yes, I hold on to God's good ground. Yes, we hold on to God's good ground.
That song is so beautiful. Sometimes this community is so precious to me, and I hold on. I hold on to every one of your stories, when your tears, and we hold on. We hold on with love to one another. And I wish I had the power, my prayers, to shift and to make a difference. And many of you know Nancy Purnell, and she's in hospice now, and she's making her transition. And I can't do anything but hold on to the love and the friendship and all that she's meant to all of us. But I feel that way for all of you. As we just hold on, we hold on to each other. Just thank you for being here week after week, serving and listening and loving. Thank you.